Hey, welcome to the Summit Host Hangout podcast, where you'll learn how to plan, strategize, and launch your profitable online summit. No influencer status necessary. I'm your host, Krista from Summit in a Box, and we're currently in a series about your summit's All Access Pass. Today, in episode 121, we're breaking that down to chat about how to price your All Access Pass once you know what's all going into it, which we covered in the last episode. So we're going to cover pricing mistakes I see, the general price range I recommend, and how to decide what your pricing should be. Before we dive in, I'm going to encourage you to check out our free virtual summit funnel roadmap. This roadmap will help you understand and map out the 6 steps that someone goes to from finding your summit for the first time to being ready to buy your signature offer afterwards. And that includes buying your All Access Pass as well. So grab the funnel roadmap at summithosthangout.com/roadmap. So let's start with the mistakes I see when it comes to pricing an All Access Pass. The biggest one, we'll just dive right into it, is an offer that's priced too low, which means that it doesn't look valuable. So if you have an All Access Pass that's $19 for the presentations, cool, your attendees are going to look at that and say $19. Is this it doesn't look worth it to me. They're not going to think it outright like that, but it sends a message when you're selling something for such a low price. It also downplays anything your speakers contributed. So in the last episode, we talked about how, speaker bonuses are a good thing. If you have thousands of dollars of speaker bonuses in your All Access Pass and you're selling it for even $47, that is downplaying the value of that as well, and kind of not honoring your speakers either. So having an All Access Pass that's too low priced is the biggest mistake I see. I also see All Access Passes that are priced too high, and I have done that myself. And the reason this can happen is that a lot of the people you're targeting are colder audiences who are not ready to make that commitment with you yet. So I found that out through one of my 2020 summits where we tried a $247 All Access Pass, and that was too high, even for our audience who tends to value that sort of offer. It was just too high for how well they knew us. The fact that a summit was bringing in people looking for something for free, it just didn't go well. So watch out for going the other end of things too. Too low, too high, they're both things you want to look out for. The next mistake I see is assuming your audience can't afford anything. So I hear this a lot from people with homeschooling moms, churches, nonprofits, those types of people in their audience. And it is so not the case. People will pay for you to solve their problems. Okay, a $97 offer with a whole bunch of resources they need, they're not going to blink an eye at that if you position it the right way and you've created a good offer. So don't undervalue what you're creating just because you've decided your audience doesn't have the money for it. Let them make that decision. And I think they'll surprise you at how often they go the other way. The last mistake I see is not doing price increases. People need encouragement to buy. They need a reason to make a decision one way or the other. And they like feeling like they got a good deal too. So we talk about limited time offers in episode 10. Definitely check that out. Having your All Access Pass just at the same price through the entire event is really going to hurt your conversion rates. So price increases are huge. So those are the mistakes. Next, I want to jump into the general All Access Pass price range I recommend. And just so I don't get emails of people hey, I did this, whatever. This is a general recommendation. Okay, this is what I usually see working and what I usually recommend in most cases. All right, that's out of the way. So the very minimum price I ever want to see for any kind of All Access Pass is $47, even if that's just presentations. And I want that to be your fast action offer. So if you have a special offer that someone can get a big discount for the first 20 minutes after they register, I don't want to see even that one any lower than $47. Anything lower than that is just showing your attendees that you're not selling something valuable. So never go lower than $47. Generally, I would say a maximum, on the other hand, of $97. So my co-host Jen and I for Sell with the Summit in 2020 tried going up to $247 as the highest price point for our event. And our audience was course creators, and we had a ton of awesome bonuses. So we wanted to give that price point a try. And honestly, I felt uncomfortable about it. I told her I thought it was too high, but on her end, she saw that, hey, this is course creators. They value this kind of thing. They understand how valuable this will be for them in their business. As well as what our summit was promising them. So I figured, hey, why not? Let's at least give it a try. And that was the lowest converting All Access Pass I've ever had. And not many people bought at that higher price point. We did add in payment plans, which helped later on. but then people defaulted on their payment plans, and that was annoying to deal with. Although I will say if you're using something like Thrivecart that automatically pulls those payments, you shouldn't have as much trouble. You'll probably still run into it a little bit. But what I'm getting at here is that higher price point didn't work. So generally, the range for an All Access Pass should be between $47 and $197. Again, it's general. So how do you decide what that looks like for you? Even if you've decided, okay, that range sounds good, where do you fall in it? For me, this isn't the answer you'll want, but for me, it's a gut feeling. If you don't like that idea, add up the value of everything in your All Access Pass and see where you land. So you can do something like, $47 of value for each presentation, or $97 if you want to. Add up the cost of all the bonuses that are contributed. Maybe you say each live co-working session is worth $197. Maybe each hot seat or group coaching call is worth $497. Do that for everything you're going to include and see what total value you come up with. Then generally you want the total value to be at least 10 times what you actually charge. So go from there, keeping in mind that general price range. A lot of times you're going to have so much value in your All Access Pass that you'll end up with, okay, if I take 1/10 of that, that's still like $500. Don't go that high. What I'm saying is just make sure that your offer's value is living up to the price you charge. And when that doesn't fit into our price range, that's where a gut feeling kind of comes back in. Generally, I have 2 tiers of an All Access Pass. For my lower tier, just presentations, is $47, $77, $97. And then I have a higher tier offer with all of those bonuses we talked about in the last episode. And I start at $97 for that and go as high as $197 throughout the price increases and limited time offers. So just to give you an example, that's what I go with. But I've seen all kinds of things work well. So go what works best and feels best to you. Overall, though, don't undersell the value of your All Access Pass. I know it's scary to put a new offer out there for the first time, but just remember all that you're helping your audience and your attendees accomplish through your event, and then even more so through upgrading to that All Access Pass. It is worth something to them. So in the last episode, you'll have already brainstormed what your All Access Pass will include. That means your action step for today is to go ahead and decide what your pricing will look like. And don't forget to figure in what those limited time special offers will look like as well. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. For show notes and resources mentioned, head to summithosthangout.com/121. In the next episode, we'll be chatting about All Access Pass tech and logistics, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Remember to also check out our free virtual summit funnel roadmap to learn the 6 steps that make up your summit's funnel, mistakes to avoid, and how to get as many people as possible all the way to your signature offer, including taking you up on that All Access Pass. You can download the roadmap at summithosthangout.com/roadmap. Now go out and take action to plan, strategize, and launch your profitable online summit.